Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be fixing a ZTE Blade L8. We'll be doing a replacement of the full screen assembly. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So the issue with this phone is that the screen is cracked and you cannot see anything on the screen at all. So the phone is literally unusable. So what we'll be doing to fix this issue is we'll be doing a replacement of the full screen assembly along with the frame. So let's start opening up the phone. To open up the back of the phone, we'll be using a plastic triangle spudger tool. So we'll simply just run it along the edges of the phone just like this. So we'll go all around the edges and eventually the back of the phone will come off. After doing this, the first thing we want to do is remove the battery completely, and then we remove any SIM cards or any micro SD cards that we have inside the phone. The next thing we'll want to do is remove the screws. To do this, we'll be using a 1.2mm Phillips screwdriver bit. Let's start removing these screws. One thing to note while removing these screws, guys, is not to mix them up. Keep them in a position so that you can place them back where they came from. Alright guys, now that we have removed the screws, we'll now need to remove this plastic bracket so that we can get access to the motherboard and other components. We'll be using this plastic double-ended spudger tool to remove the bracket. So let's begin. So what we'll do now is we'll use the pointed part of the double-ended spudger tool and we'll simply just use it to go inside of one of these grooves right here. And we're just gonna lift it up and you're gonna see the bracket eases up just like that. And we're gonna work around. So you can see right here lifts up just like that. Once we lift up right here. And now we can go up to the top of right here. And we can actually just brace right here. And eventually the bracket will just come off just like that. So now that the bracket is removed, we can start removing the motherboard and other components. So first thing I'll do is disconnect the ribbon cables for the screen. So I'll just lift up right here and let's use the spray tool to kind of get out this ribbon cable. And now we'll do the same for this sub-board down here. So we'll kind of get it out just like that. And there's also another ribbon cable up here. We'll try to pull that out from right here. So if we could just get underneath here, you can see it's coming out. Just like that. And once it's removed, we can now remove the motherboard and the sub-board. So what we'll do now is we'll use the pry tool to kind of lift up the sub-board. We can actually get it out like this. And we can remove the motherboard now. So we'll kind of ease up the motherboard and we'll use the pry tool to get underneath it. So kind of lift it up a little bit. And then once we get underneath the motherboard, we're gonna hold the top part of it to create a small little tension. And we'll brace it up and you'll see the motherboard comes out just like that. After we have done that, guys, the last thing we'll need to do is remove this speaker from the old screen assembly. So let's do that now. So to remove the speaker, we can use the pry tool and we could actually hold down onto the speaker to create tension. And then we could use the pry tool to ease up the speaker a bit. And eventually you'll see it lifts up. And there we remove the speaker. So we'll just put it down right there for now. And now guys, it's time to move all of these components into the new screen assembly. So let's start unboxing that. So guys, we'll also need to remove the power button and volume buttons from the old screen assembly. So let's start doing that. So what we'll do guys is we'll use this plastic pry tool to run along the edges of the power button and volume button. And it will slowly lift up like this. And what we'll do now, once the buttons lift up, we'll slowly ease it up like this. And we'll slowly peel off this part of the button. And now we successfully removed the button. Now we can finally begin the unboxing process. So here is the new screen assembly that I ordered. So let's open up the box. And once we open it, it will come with this box inside of it with the screen assembly. And it also comes with these tools. I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can order the screen. So now let's open up this box. So we can actually open it right here. And you can see we get the screen and everything inside of it. So here's the new screen assembly. So let's take it out. And here it is. So guys, this is the old screen assembly and this is the new screen assembly. So let's start fixing the phone. So the first thing we'll do is we'll move this power button onto the new screen assembly. So we'll get the power button and we'll clip it on right here. So it should clip on just like this. After we have done that, we'll simply hold down this little connector right here and ensure it sticks properly. You guys can also apply a little bit of adhesive to it. Now that we have done that, we'll simply move the motherboard and the subboard into the new screen assembly, after which we'll test out the screen to see if it is working. So we'll simply put the motherboard up here. So we'll just push it on right here. And we'll press it down to ensure that it clips in properly. Then we'll put the subboard and we'll clip it down as well. So it should go right here. And ensure it clips down properly. And now that it's clipped down, we can connect these ribbon cables to the motherboard. So let's start by connecting this flex cable right here. So we'll simply lift up the clip right here on the motherboard. And we'll push this flex cable right underneath here. So push it in here. And now that it's pushed in properly, we can connect the rest of the flex cables like this one right here. So we'll just hold down on it and we'll just slowly push it in here. So we'll push it right here. And once it's pushed all the way in, we'll need to connect this one right here to the subboard. So let's do that. So what we'll do now to connect this flex cable is we'll lift up this clip right here on the subboard And we'll use our finger to kind of bend this flex cable slightly. And we'll use our plastic pry tool to hold it down. And we'll use our finger to slightly push it in. And then it should align with the pins but go underneath them. Then we'll use our pry tool to kind of push it up all the way in. And once so there it pushes all the way in now. And now that that's finished, we can just clip down right here. And now we can finally test out the phone. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna put the battery in the and connect it to the motherboard. So we're just gonna hold down the motherboard and we'll connect the battery, and we'll hold down on the battery and the motherboard together. And I'm just gonna plug the phone into this power bank and see if the screen comes on. If it comes on, that means it is working. So we're just gonna hold the battery down so it doesn't fall out. And the phone came on, guys, which means the new screen assembly is working. You can see the phone is charging. So now, guys, we can finally assemble the phone fully back together. Now, the last thing we'll need to put in is the speaker module. So we'll put it in right here. So we'll just push it on underneath here. Just like this. So we'll hold it down. Try to get it underneath right here. You guys can apply adhesive to the speaker so that it seals in properly. And once it's sealed in properly, guys, we can now let's do one final test on the phone. Let's try to power it on. So let's go right here and we'll try to click on the power button. Let's hold it down. And the phone came on, guys, which means it's this new screen assembly. It is working. Let's just disconnect the battery for now. So we'll disconnect that battery. And we'll begin screwing back the bracket of the phone together. Before actually doing that, we'll just use this plastic pry tool to get the wire into this groove. So we'll just run it along the edges like this. And now that it's in the groove, we can finally begin to put the bracket onto the phone. So to get the bracket onto the phone, I'm just gonna align it properly with the motherboard and all the different components. And we're just gonna clip it on just like this. So we're gonna go along the edges and ensure it clips down properly, just like that. And now we can begin screwing everything back together. Now that we have screwed up everything together, we can now put the battery into the phone. So we'll just put it in right here. And now we can finally put the back of the phone on. So we'll just clip it down just like this. All right, we'll clip it. We'll go along the edges. And now, let's try to power the phone on, guys. So let's see if it comes on. And yes, the phone comes on. So let's wait on it to power on and do some final tests to ensure that it's working. Alright guys, and the phone finally came on. So the phone is ready now, guys, but let's test it out to see if we can turn the phone up and all of that. See, we can turn the phone up. Let's test the button and everything. Alright, Everything is working fine. So guys, the phone is now ready to go. We can peel off this screen sticker, and now the phone is ready. So I hope you guys learned something valuable. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.